This episode is brought to you by Midwest Night Watchers, found everywhere on your favorite podcast platforms.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Piercing the Veil.
Hey, welcome in, everyone. It's good to see everyone again.
Yeah, we got a few popping in already and saying hi in chat.
That's pretty good. And we had a few people in their way before the show.
Yeah. So
Yes.
hope you guys are all having a good day. I had a good week, and weather's been cooperating pretty good for us. I mean, we've had a little rain, but mostly it's been decent temperature. So we've been getting some stuff done outside and had some family visitors this week, which was really nice.
Kept us busy.
Yeah.
We had a little 16, 17-month-old run around. We couldn't hold her, but she sure did like high fives.
Oh yeah, she was all about giving high fives, but as far as being able to hold her quite yet, nah. She
Yeah.
kind of tolerated grandma a little bit, but not me. She didn't want to have nothing to do with this big bearded guy, I guess.
She liked pointing and saying, Papa, but when you'd reach your hands out, she'd start crying. So Papa scared her. But yeah, we had a good visit, and the sisters were having so much fun with each other. They didn't see each other for 8 years. So, oh yeah, these sisters definitely got together and had breakfast together and called in work and just so they can hang out. And so the company left about an hour ago. So they're heading back up to Chicago, and they'll be flying out tomorrow.
Plenty of family time and a lot of meals together. So we did good. We got everything crammed in a 3 or 4 day period, and now they've heading out to the airport and hotel for their flight in the morning.
Yep. So yeah, we had a good busy week. So, and now the rain's coming in, and still be nice weather. We're still supposed to get like 50s and the 60s and pretty decent weather coming in.
So tonight, we're depending on where you're at, it's 6 p.m. for us. But this evening we got our special guest is Barb Hartman, and if you guys have checked her out on either Grizz's show or her YouTube, look up Barb Hartman and on YouTube and check out their shows. And we're going to be talking about Bigfoot and some sky anomalies, in the Ursa Major constellation, some activities going on. So we kind of got the cryptid and UFO kind of thing going on. So I don't know if there's a correlation or connection, but we're going to be talking about both of them, and we'll see how that goes. And we're excited to talk about Barb. She's been on our show before, and we're so happy to have her back. And we'll just go ahead and bring Barb up and say hi. Hi, Barb.
Welcome back.
Hi, thank you, Carol and Jane. I was like, when I was getting ready for the show, I was like, this is so nice because I wasn't like nervous at all. I'm normally nervous before, before it's isn't it? It's easier when you're doing the podcast yourself, when it's like my show, I'm not typically, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Nervous, but
Right.
man, when I'm a guest, sometimes I just get so nervous.
Yeah.
We
We kind of,
like,
I mean, for me, I kind of go the opposite way because, like,
really?
right now I got to watch chat and do all that
That's
stuff and get it
true.
all together. But when I'm on somebody else's show, I just relax, like, okay,
That's
whatever you want to do, I'm just
That's
here.
a good point. Yeah, that's a really good point. Aw. So yeah,
No,
thank you for
you
having
should be
me.
at home here. I mean, it's just like
Yeah.
sitting across the kitchen table and just talking, and
Yep.
Yep.
I
whatever
feel like
comes up, comes up.
yeah, we're like in contact so much anyway, you know.
Mhm.
I mean, not live on air, but so
Right.
yeah, definitely feels like that. Like we're just sitting across, the kitchen table or sitting around in your living room,
Yeah.
chatting
Yep.
up.
We
Yeah, I
just
don't know
have
how
we
many
just have
times I
eyes listening.
sit there and look at the phone and say, look what I saw.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. But look what I heard. Listen to
Yep,
what I
yep,
heard.
for sure.
Well, we got
Aw.
a few people in chat, so let's just say hi real quick before we get going. Jane, you want to say hi to everybody?
Yeah, I see Val, Henry, Kathleen, Leanna, Roger. I see Val again. I see Barb Hartman. I see Henry, a little good. I see Daryl. Let's see Darcy. And I'm pretty sure Elaine was in earlier. Heidi Pop. Hi, Heidi Pop. And I think Elaine from UK said she might be here, but it's midnight there.
Yeah, it's getting kind of late for them.
Yeah. And Crystal J. Hi, Crystal J. And hey, there's Ryan. Hi, Ryan.
Oh, nice.
Monster Ryan.
Yeah, we're getting quite a few popping in.
Yeah, welcome in, guys. Levon. Yeah, I just saw. Oh boy, everybody's sneaking in. Welcome in, guys.
Nice.
So as we get started, Barb, did you want to talk about your trip to Pennsylvania? Is that where we're going to be talking about some of your
Yeah.
investigations, or is it somewhere else?
No, we can do that. Actually, you know what? Let's start with the week before we went to Pennsylvania. Is we were at Pacific Beach, which is on the Washington State coast, and we stayed there. It was our 30th wedding anniversary, so we went there. It's and people are like, "You're gonna go to?" Well, the place is called Seabrook. It's just this beautiful little like beach town, really kind of in the middle of nowhere, and they kind of just they're starting to like grow this place. And there's a few businesses, and we just absolutely love it. We also love that it's on the Olympic Peninsula, which is like a super active place for Sasquatch. So we decided to go there, and we saw a few things that were really interesting on the beach. I got some footprints, pictures of footprints. Now it was like the high was like 50, and it was misty, rainy, cold. Not to say that people aren't walking barefoot, but it's highly unlikely.
Right.
And it's one of those things where, there would be like a footprint here and a footprint there, here print, there print,
everywhere. A print,
oh
print.
no.
Dr. Seuss does cryptids.
Yeah. And so, but it was also weird how, it looked like a bare footprint, but in different, I think there were 2 or 3 different sizes. And it was weird the way that they, that they stepped into the sand. And so I sent them all to my friend, and I think you guys know him, Tom Cantrell. He knows so much. Yeah. And he said, well, he goes, first of all, right off the bat, he said, I'm going to tell you that this one is the one, like one of them that I can see the best. And he said, that is a Sasquatch print. And he said, because you could see the mid-tarsal break, you could see the way that there was like it had like kicked the sand as it walked. And then the heel print was like deeper than than the foot, which is opposite to way. And I was like, that's what I thought. Cause my husband's like, I don't know. They really look human, but he doesn't know about the anatomical structure, of Bigfoot feet. But yeah, so I was excited about that. Also, there were, I guess you'd say like wood structures made out of driftwood, which they say that people, I know some, people can do the make those also, but what I thought was super odd is that there were two large ones. One we saw the first day, and then the next day we found another large one. And I do not think that second large one was there the first day. I know it wasn't, because I would have noticed it. I mean, I would have noticed it. This is the weird thing, is that there was a bunch of dune grass that had been, I don't know, I don't want to say pulled out, but it almost looked like cut off, or maybe chewed off. I don't know. And that it was like laying all over both of these big wood structures. Now, dune grass that's illegal. You're not supposed to mess with it at all. So, and
Wow.
I don't see anybody going and cutting, anyway. I mean, if you want to, face a fine, it's a huge fine. So there's signs all over the place warning against it. So, yeah, just kind of, neat stuff. But on our second to the last day there, we were looking at a construction area in this neighborhood. There's like, they keep adding on to it, these cute little pocket like neighborhoods. And we were kind of interested in this one, which I don't know, it's kind of still up in the air, but where it is it's like up, kind of like up the mountain, and right, it borders DNR, Department of Natural Resources land. And there's, I mean, I think they said 400 acres or 600 acres of DNR land. So like, wow, that's, that's pretty cool. That's interesting. So we drove up to the spot, and my husband's he was just looking around and taking some pictures out of his window, because it was pouring. When I say, oh my gosh, it's pouring so hard. So yeah, the intention was that we were going to get out, but it's like, no. I mean, even, we're Washingtonians now. We go out without umbrellas and all that, but man, it was pouring. So anyway, I'm sitting there, and as he's doing his thing, and I'm like, this is weird, because I'm sorry, my dog's barking. Sorry. And I'm like, where's everybody at? Where's the 3 adults in my house? Keep the dog quiet. Sorry. So what it looked like was that somebody was in this, like a bright green, like a rain suit, maybe. I don't know. That's the only thing. And I'm thinking, it looked like the person they were maybe, I don't know how far away from me. Because I couldn't tell, I'm not familiar with like looking into this. It's heavily forested. But it looked like they were like walking up and down like a mountain kind of. And I'm like, what is that? And I didn't think that back where this was, I didn't think that it went up like that. From my understanding, that was like on a ridge, and then it kind of just went back flat, and then it goes down. So I no idea what was going on with that. Then all of a sudden, but I'm just standing there watching. I'm like, oh, that's weird. Again, because it's pouring rain so much. Then I realized, wait a minute, the thing like kind of stopped, and it was like, looked like it's going like this. Like, okay, so the tree, and it's going like this, like, and I'm like, that thing looks almost like it's peeking out at me. I'm like, oh my gosh, what if this is a Sasquatch? That's so weird. So then I get out my phone and I'm recording it. Unfortunately, I didn't get that much, because I mean, my gosh, putting down the window and looking at this thing, the rain's just like pouring in, like horizontal, rain flying in at me. But I did get something super interesting, and I had sent you guys the video. So, if you want it, I don't know if you want to take a look at it and see what people think.
So I'm trying to think of which one. I have 2 videos from you.
Okay.
So I don't know which one you want to start with, but
okay. Because I think one video is from there, and then the other one is from our farm in Pennsylvania. So if you can see one where it looks like there might be like I think there's like a construction, like the tire of a construction vehicle, maybe as you're looking at the photo, to the left.
Okay, I'll just click on this one. If it's not it, I'll play the other one.
Yeah. Okay.
was that noise? What was that noise? Maybe it was that look. Probably a log. I don't know.
It does look like a dog, man, but we can talk about that in a little bit. But
All right. Was that the wrong video?
yeah, that's not the right. Yeah, that's
Okay,
the other
I'll play
one.
this other one, but I think it for some reason it mutes our
Yeah, it's
mics.
mute. It muted all three of us
Oh,
when you played that video.
okay.
So we'll play the video, then we'll talk about it.
Gotcha.
Okay. There's something light. Oh my gosh, things pouring in. There's something light back there that keeps walking. Where is it? There it is. Oh, there's another one too. Wow. It's pouring. Okay. All right, I'll let them down. It's just pouring so bad. Whoa. Okay.
Now, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if you can see it. And if people are watching, please go to my YouTube and check it out and see what you think. It was just so, I don't know, such a weird thing. At first I thought, oh, well, maybe it's like some branches in the background, but it was moving independently of anything else. So, yeah, I don't know. Really.
Yeah, I mean, I saw some movement, but I mean, it was such a small share.
Yeah.
It was hard to see. So yeah, go to Barb's YouTube and check it out, so you can play it back and forth a couple times to see. Now, is any of those pictures you sent me of that, or are they different?
I'm not sure. I don't know. What did I send you? I can't remember what I sent you. I guess we'll just go into them, and then if it's not, I can tell you what. Oh, okay. That's a circle of where the thing was. That is the thing.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, it's just very, very weird. I'm wondering if it is. Yeah. Standing stone. It is chartreuse green. Yes, it is. And, I don't know. It's just really just weird. And I'm wondering, it's probably a light colored Sasquatch, that's absorbing the color around them. But I don't know if I don't know if I just don't even know what to say. I don't know. It's weird.
So now that we have it circled where it is, let's go back to the video.
Okay.
And watch it again so we can see the air.
There's something light. Oh my gosh, things pouring in. There's something light back there that keeps walking. Where is it? There it is. Oh, there's another one too. Wow. It's pouring. Okay. All right, I'll let them down. It's just pouring so bad. Whoa. Okay.
I saw something move.
I saw movement back there, but
was it windy at all?
Tell what it was though.
Was it windy at all?
It was not really windy. It was a little bit and that's what I thought definitely at first. And you know what? And this isn't a good, this little snapshot, I guess you'd say, a little snippet, because I have other videos that I put into this one whole, video. And it's different. It's moving independently from any of the, any of the other foliage. And I definitely saw, I'm positive there were Sasquatch back there, because aside from that, there were a lot of dark movement, and in some of them, by manipulating the settings on the videos. And
I definitely saw the movement, like it was kind of moving a little bit back and forth. Yeah.
And that was what was weird. But
now you said something very interesting, and we talked about it, me and Jane, on another show that we did, that we had heard a report that some of the Bigfoot have like a clear hair, almost like a polar bear, where they can reflect the light and the surroundings. So that's kind of why they sometimes they can look blurry or kind of
Blend
blend
in.
in their environment. So, and you had just said that about this one, so it kind of struck a chord with me. Like, okay, maybe that one had some reflective hair, like they were talking about.
Yep. Yeah. And I've definitely seen where, where we live is where I see most of mine. And I've definitely seen them that they look green like that. There was one that I saw a few months ago, and I should have put that, and I even drew like a little diagram. And as I was going through my stuff today, my desk that's in my desk, and there was actually, so what I saw, I don't know if you can see this. Probably. Oh no, I don't know if you can.
There,
Anyway,
coming in better.
yeah, because I thought I looked in to the active area, and I saw a big black figure, like way in the back that peeked at me, and then wait, I don't know, was I talking to you guys about this? There was a black thing like reaching out, which turned out to be an arm that I saw like later, and then there was another like a smaller black figure. And it looked like it was holding something that was, and that thing that it was holding was all black, and it was like undulating. And I'm thinking, like, is that a tail? Because it wasn't like it was another arm or a leg because of the way that it was undulating. Like, just like I don't know what would do that. I don't know.
Right.
But in the middle of this whole thing, and this is what caught my attention today, I'm like, oh my gosh, was this green thing that I thought looked like somebody that was wrapped in a green tarp or had a plastic bags over them. It was so weird. And so, and I mean, and I remember because I'm to the point with them that like, I just love this. Sometimes I can just look in and they're just sitting there, just chilling out,
Wow.
There was one that was, it was almost like, it was so human. It did look like it had like an ape kind of looking face, but it was acting so human. It was weird. It was just like almost like it was like almost like aloof to me. Like I'm not looking at you. You want me to look at you? I'm not gonna look at you.
Yeah.
So but that was weird about that green thing because I was reminded of that today. I don't know.
Now, did it stay there the whole time you were there, or did you end up not seeing it anymore and you guys left?
It was there, but we left shortly after that, and it had stopped like moving. It kind of had, stopped.
Okay.
So, and it was it started to rain even harder. So I was like, okay, well, that's
the end of that one then.
Yeah, that's the end of that. Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So, yeah, Brian said, yeah, a Sasquatch in a ghillie suit. Or
anymore. It wouldn't surprise me. All this stuff and the reports that we hear from people, it's like, well, I've never heard that before. That's a new one. It's like it never ceases to surprise you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I would love to know if somebody sees something like that, because that, the one that we just showed, that you just showed the video of, it was almost like, I was just so like flowy too. I don't know. It's really, really weird. I don't know.
But it's still fun.
I mean, we talk about how apes or monkeys will mimic, our movements and stuff. Well, I don't think they mimic us. I just think they're so close to us that they have the same joints, the same body parts. So they're going to move. If we can do something like that, they can do something like that. So, I mean, they're just doing their normal day-to-day, whatever they're doing.
Right.
Does it look like us sometimes? Yeah, probably. But I mean, obviously they're like 9 foot tall and massive and
yeah. And I would like to go back. When we go back, I'm going to see, I want to try to get into that area and see, what does the terrain look like? What, how far away? Cause I have no idea, not being familiar with it,
Right.
what it's reported so often that people see them like kind of peeking out like that. That is one thing that I've never seen before. Mine here at our house and around us, they don't do that. They don't peek. They either are looking at you and like most of them are just completely still, or they're just kind of sitting around chilling out. And that's I'd say about 60 yards away from where, from the point that I don't want to go in any further when I see them doing that. Cause I don't want to upset them. And, I love the fact that I can just kind of look in and there they are. Well,
the other weird thing is, we like you said, we hear about the peepers or the peekers, but they're also the elementals or the shadow beings that is. So, sometimes it could be Bigfoot, sometimes it could be these other elementals or the shadow people peeking around the tree. So, or it could be a combination of both. I mean, sometimes if it's dark and in the woods, there's so many dark shadows anyway, when we're taking videos or pictures, you might be catching a shadow or of a person, a shadow person being.
Yeah. Right. Yep.
You normally go out by yourself investigating, or do you have a family member with you?
No, I'm normally by myself.
Yeah.
But I don't go too far from my house. And then they know when I'm going into the woods. And actually, I mean, since I really started to get more of like a close relationship with them, I don't even go in very far because I don't need to. I'm so blessed. I don't need to. They kind of come out, they come to me. And now there is area around me that I'll hike in, and typically I'll have like my daughter or my husband, just because we're hiking and it's I'd rather, it's kind of boring doing a lot of it yourself. And also I am sometimes I think, well, I don't want to, push my luck on this because like they're Sasquatch and I'm not afraid of them, but I also don't want to be dumb, and do something that's going to put me
from the channelers and stuff, they say that once you've established your friendship or with the Sasquatch in your area, so you become part of their clan or family, or they become protective of you, I guess is what I want to say. So when you travel somewhere else, say Pennsylvania or wherever, somehow they say that these clans communicate with each other. So that clan in that area will be watching you because the one that's in your area says, hey, this one's one of ours. So be looking out.
Yeah, that's what they say. And that's, I kind of found that when we went to, I was in California in June, and along the coast, and I saw Sasquatch there, and I thought, wow, that's cool. Like, how did they, I mean, I was looking for it. Well, I wasn't really looking for them. I was just in an area where they were. We certainly weren't, squatching or anything like that. I was with my granddaughters and my son and my daughter, and none of them are real into it, but I was surprised what I got on. I definitely got some on video. I mean, it was clear as can be. And I thought as I'm sitting there, like we're looking out into this forest, it was like a conservation area. I thought, wow, that looks like some Sasquatch back there, but they were too far away for me to tell. And then when I'm able to review the videos and the photos, it's like, yep, sure enough. So, and even there was one that was out on like these rocks that right alongside the ocean that was very precarious for humans to be. So it's in the area where I never knew about this. They actually they bring people in to surf, but they have to bring them in on like jet skis or whatever. And then they have Have you guys ever heard of this? I had no idea about this. And then there'll be like a team, like basically to like save them, and there's like a medic.
Right.
And
yeah.
And I'm like, wow, who'd want to do this? But people pay to do this. So I never knew.
Yeah, in a lot of the competitions, they always have people out there just in case they get hit with a board or a bad wave comes and throws them, and they get in the tide or the current, the undertow, and they can't get up. So they always have. Now they didn't used to. I mean, back when we were growing up in the 70s and 60s, like you're out there, you're on your own unless you got some buddies with you.
Yeah, I was so surprised, but wow, but it's a thing. So.
And then anyway, a lot of places, I mean, even the surfers go to these like coves and beaches that you can't get to by land. So they have to bring you by boat or jet ski.
Yeah. And I think that where this was, I want to say it was, oh my gosh, now it's not going to, I can't remember the name of it now. It was like Twin or Lone Cypress. That's what it was, like Lone Cypress. Yeah. And so it was just above Carmel on the 9 Mile Drive, mile drive. Anyway, but it was a beautiful area. Absolutely beautiful.
So that was happening at the same time when you were out and saw the Bigfoot. There were surfers out in the water.
There wasn't any surfers. There was I guess a team like that was training, because there were 2 jet skis, and they had like one had 4 people on it and another had 3 people, and they were doing things and we didn't know what they were doing. Like, what are they doing? And they were like throwing things out in the water, and we're like, what? And then there was a gentleman there that explained to us what they were doing.
All right. Okay.
So, yeah. So
I was just going to try to make a correlation. Okay. The clan shows up and then something was going on in the water, whether it was weather related or the season or something happening, that I thought maybe the 2 were connected, but not the surfers themselves, but just the atmosphere and environment.
Yes. Yeah. It was cool. And I thought, like, wow. Out on these rocks. I'm like, that really looks like.
Because just like in the movie Point Break, where the surfers travel the whole world because the conditions are just right during the seasons, and they travel by seasons to catch the big waves. Well, I thought, well, okay, if this is a good season here for them to catch the waves, maybe it was a good season also for the clan to show up and check out something that was going on.
Yeah. I don't know. But I just, I know that people have said about, that these things, like when you travel, or, that your clan can communicate. And I just thought, I'm not saying that I didn't believe it, but I thought, well, I don't know, that seems, but I certainly think that that's what happens. So, when we were at we stayed at our daughter's in Pennsylvania for we were there 10 days, and we just got home Wednesday, the day before Halloween. And I got photos in her backyard that look like Sasquatch, because they back up to state game lands. And so, there's acres and acres and just all around, and they're in the Pocono Mountains. And
So this is a family farm, right? You own it, but it was a family, your family owned it previous. Right?
Yeah. Now the farm that I was in, that we were just walking around on. My husband and I own it. It was my father-in-law's, and it was my son. My husband lived there when he was a child with his parents and his sister. When my husband was, I don't know what year. Anyway, like a young adult, his parents got divorced, and his mom didn't want to keep the farm. So his father wanted to keep the farm. So my husband actually bought the farm from him so he could, continue to live there. So he had lifetime, tenantship or whatever. So might have asked the local. Yeah, that's true, Gary. Yeah, that could be. Yeah. Yeah, so we own now. My father-in-law passed away last summer, so nobody lives there now. There's we have friends that, and my husband's sister kind of watches over it. We have cameras posted around. And
so does anybody live there full time now while you're gone?
No, nobody lives there, and we don't stay there even when because we prefer to stay with our daughter who lives about an hour from there.
Yeah. Now, was it like a grandfather's farm? Does it go back very far in your family?
No, it just goes back to my husband's family. Yeah, because they bought it. His parents bought it, I think, in the early 60s.
Okay. Well, that's quite
yeah.
back.
It's been there. Yeah, it's been in the family.
So,
yeah.
So has there been any reports from the family of weird stuff going on?
No,
Okay.
nothing. But I thought, Pennsylvania, that area is just kind of an active area anyway.
Yeah.
So I thought, what the heck? I'll just when we're there, I'll walk around and see. In 2019, we had the farm timbered, which is where they come through and they select trees, to it's really good for forests. They're not, it's not, everything's not crowded together. So it's really good. And what they do there are some remnants that they can't use, and they just kind of just let them, they'll cut them up and just let them wherever, and so they had some I guess piles of them, but not very many. But when we went to the farm, it's a week ago today, it was everything, all these piles were rearranged. We found some teepees, we found some leaning trees. It looked almost like what I call bunkers. They kind of just pile them deep. Yeah, so it was interesting. A lot of neat stuff. I don't know if there are Sasquatch there. Supposedly now people, when they saw my videos, they were saying that it was, that they saw, a lot of people saw evidence of Dogman.
That was one of the questions I was going to bring up, but I didn't know if they were talking about where you were before or the family farm. What about Dogman reports or other cryptids in the area?
Yeah, I've seen, I've not seen Dogmen here. I've heard Dogmen where I'm living in Washington State. But that's maybe about, I guess it's probably almost 2 years ago now. I got some audio a few times that people, thought that it was Dogman. It sounded like Dogman. It's like a bark, but just a loud bark and a single, with a little bit of a howl at the end. Not like a dog would be barking.
Right.
But I don't know. I'm just learning about Dogman. I've seen some Sasquatch here that look like they have ears, but then I'm told that they can kind of, sometimes they'll put things supposedly on their heads or they'll even mess with their hair so they look like they have ears, or the way that they pile on each other, the little ones pile up like totems, they can look like something totally different. So it's very,
if anybody's been out and heard, obviously we know what a dog sounds like, when it barks, but usually it's not just one bark. And Jane's heard this also, where it's a constant bark,
single bark.
No, I'm just saying what a normal dog sounds like is this bark, 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 bark,
right. Exactly.
But then when you're out there, like when Jane or you, and you just heard a single bark, it's all right, that's kind of weird.
But I don't have a howl.
Then we know what a wolf sounds like, or something, or a coyote. We know what their yips and their howls are. But when you have a bark and a howl together, it's like, okay, that's something different. That's not a normal.
Yeah. And Barb heard with the audio. I sent my audio to you of whatever the fox would go yip 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 yow, and then something went woo with a low voice too. And I went, that's not a coyote or fox.
No, I think that sounded like a Sasquatch. Definitely. To me, from what we could hear, definitely. That's what not professional. I don't, I'm not a professional. And
I mean,
I,
unless it's right in
Barb.
front of you and you experience it, I mean, point blank. I mean, we're all just trying to make sense of it and
Right.
give our best intelligent guess that we
Right.
can.
exactly. Something that happened this is so, I am so excited about this. I'm trying to catch up on Expedition Bigfoot, the current season, because our streaming service didn't have season 5. And now I know that there's mixed, reactions about that. Some of it is sure it's probably for, for television
Right,
or whatever.
right.
I'm not going to
Mhm.
purport that's like, oh my gosh, everything's real, blah, blah, blah. But Russell Acord on he got a double grunt that he recorded. I think it was episode 3 or 4, and it was Tobe Johnson is with Dr. Maria, and is that her name? Maria? Anyway, the woman. And Russell's by himself with his cameraman, and he got this. He recorded this double grunt that was exactly like I heard my first audio that I got, and I didn't even. I mean, I wasn't expecting it. It was my first time out, like officially researching or whatever. And I had my phone hanging around my neck. I'm sure I told you guys or whatever, and I didn't even realize that my phone was still recording at the time. But it was exactly like, and Gerald, actually, I had sent that, I believe, to you like a while ago, and you tried to, but it was between, because the leaves were crunchy and I was humming and it was windy. And so, and you said like and a couple people have tried that are very good with audio, have tried to isolate that, and they really couldn't. You can still hear it, but it's not that. But oh my gosh, I mean, this was exactly like I heard, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's, you know what I mean? It's like really exciting when you hear something that you've heard and you're explaining to people, and then you can say, okay, no, that is what I heard. So I was so excited about that.
Yeah, it's nice getting confirmations of weird sounds, and you hear other people say the weird sounds.
Yep.
Like I heard a squeak, almost sound like an antique barn hinge. Two houses away. She don't have a shed. There's nothing over there. This was a couple years ago. And then I started hearing people on YouTube shows saying, yeah, they would hear squeaks and metallic sounds. And I'm going, oh my gosh. So I'm not the only one.
Yes. Yeah, that's very common.
Mhm.
And then like a dumpster door being closed.
Yeah, I've heard that too. Yeah, I haven't heard it personally, but I heard people say that. But mine sound like a squeak, like, "Ee!" And I'm going, there's nothing over there. And then we did have Robin Haynes McCrae, talk to us, and she was starting to giggle, and she went, they like giggle, or they like squeaking at you. And I went, oh my gosh.
And you knew. Yeah.
And I said, that was the squeaking. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, because I mean, I think they're just like us. I think they mimic stuff, I mean, we, when we see a bird or a cat, we try to meow or mimic to them, or say hi to them or whatever. So I imagine they do the same things because they're interested in us. So they might be making noises at us or other animals, even to fit in or blend in or whatever they're doing.
Yeah, I saw somebody that had just they said that they were in Washington State and they heard Sasquatch. They think they heard, I don't know.
Yeah, feisty kitty.
Yeah, I had that up for a minute. I probably didn't leave it up long enough.
Yeah, if you please go to my YouTube channel, you guys, if you're interested in the mimicking, because I have gotten some. I really I'm so blessed. Like I think I got some really good stuff.
I love listening to your audios.
There's one that I think it's one, I don't know, maybe it's, but that mimics like geese.
Mine were doing that.
Yeah. And then, but then at the end, it's like the quack, whatever. And then at the end, like, ooh, it just goes like they're not even trying anymore. And it's so much, it's so much fun. And let's see. Oh, thank you, Lulu Bell.
Yeah, Lulu put it up there earlier. So if anybody wants to repost that, so other people in chat can find it.
Early on, I don't have a ton. I just kind of learned how to do. So I think I'm getting a little not that great though. But I'm trying to get a little bit more finesse. But I do. But earlier on, there was let me see, like a goat, a horse, and there's no horses. There's horses that live across the road from us during the summertime, and because they keep them the end of July and all through August, kind of to fertilize the field that's over there, the pasture. But there's no horses they don't live here. They live on a farm that's a couple miles away. So it's not, if I heard that when the horses are here, I'm going to say, well, I have to throw that audio out, because it could be the horses. But this was like something that was very close to the camera that sounded like a horse. And it's just so cute.
I've heard of mimicking my chickens because my chickens in the middle of the night do weird noises. And one time I heard this, ah! So I kind of went, ah! Well, then over there where my den or whatever that thing is, I heard a, ah! And I kind of went, okay. So yeah, they like mimicking, and they do. Yes. If you hear a weird owl that don't like an owl, it's probably not an owl.
Yep. That is something that I hear, very frequently.
Outside our bedroom window. I hear it once in a while. And it's like, okay.
Wow. Yeah, that's cool.
So that's the weird thing, that we're so clueless on how they live and how they act, other than people's experiences or little stories they tell us, so it's like, nobody's an expert. They all act different, just like humans. I mean, how many different people have you met that's, doesn't necessarily fit the norm or doesn't follow what everybody else does or what everybody else likes? So I can assume that Bigfoot also is like that they all have individual personalities. The teenagers, the young ones, like playing with the animals and goofing around, doing mischief, just like our kids or we did when we were young. So, I mean, there's just so many facets. That's like, you can't just throw them in a box and say, okay, this covers everything. No.
Right. And I love the audio. And then for people that don't know how I get mine is that we have security cameras, just Arlo home security cameras that we have posted around the perimeter. And not every night. And I've tried to because I'm trying to get more sleep, but a couple times a week, if the weather's good, because if it's raining, I might get, you might get good audio, but it's going to be, it's going to be corrupted by the sound of the rain. So I don't even try if it's pouring. But I just, about midnight, I just kind of listen in, and I just go like round robin, around all the, take my turn around all the video cameras and just keep listening. The most active is the one that's, excuse me, next to, it sits like the side of our house that faces the forest, and that's the most active one. But yeah, it's, and there's one that is, he is such a distinct, I love this like voice now that I know exactly who I can, he makes one like noise with his throat, like almost like he's clearing his throat or grunting. And it's like, oh, that's him. Cause I also think that, I really think that they make the like wood pops, and they make that with their mouth.
I think so too.
Yeah. So many of that. Now we are renovating our house. So there have been times when there's kind of, random piles of wood sitting around, but you go the very next morning and, check out, and everything is the same as it was, the night before. And it literally sounds like they're, banging two pieces of wood together, or like some people say, it sounds like, like a ball bat, to a tree. And I firmly believe that, now that that they're doing the mouth pops. It's
right.
You don't see any damage on trees. And I've also heard that they see trees as their friends. They don't want to hurt the trees.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely a connection, with the elementals and the elements. But I mean, like the trees are supposed to have spirit people in them, the elementals. Right. And if Sasquatch or Bigfoot is here to be conservator or a steward of the land, and they naturally would take care of the earth and the trees and everything that's living. So there is a connection between elementals and Sasquatch. Now, whether they're related, I mean, some people put them in one big umbrella as far as all the cryptids and elementals. I don't know, but I do know they have a connection.
Yeah, it certainly would seem that way. I don't. When it's interesting. One thing that they do, and I mean, to probably are aware of this, is that they it's just amazing how they'll take branches and fallen trees and kind of just, they just like prop them up like they're trying to rebuild or whatever. I don't know. But now I'd not heard of this, but somebody talked to me about this a few months ago. And this is a kind of a thing that you're not, again, I'm not saying that I didn't believe in it. I just thought I have to think about this. Like I have to really like think about this for a while, and let it ruminate. Like, is this really that they can, that they lean, they make these teepees and they make, and they'll lean, branches or trees against other trees to create like a power grid. Have you heard of that? And they talked about it again on the season, of Expedition Bigfoot, that just one of the episodes. And I'm like, wow, then maybe this is common knowledge. But that is what this person was telling me a few months ago. And I don't,
well,
similar to.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. No.
All right. Well, we had heard that they actually are in charge of not only a conservator or steward of the land, but like portals and ley lines, that is one of their duties as a, not really Aborigine, but like one of the first people that were on Earth. So they're in charge of that. So it would make sense to me, just like humans put cathedrals and temples on ley lines or vortexes. I would assume that their clan would be living in an area like that, and chances are they could be putting teepees or structures together that could harness that energy for like the small ones that you think, okay, maybe they can't fit in there. Well, maybe it's for the younger ones, or maybe they can dimensionally shrink and go in there. And there's lots of space, because we've heard that with the UFOs, that okay, just because the spaceship looks small to us doesn't mean dimensionally inside that it's not huge.
Right. They can pop into an orb and go in anywhere.
Yeah, that's true. Definitely. Yeah.
But I would think a structure or something that they would have a tie with possibly could be on a ley line or have some kind of frequency or vibrational frequencies that would benefit them. So maybe they do put their newborns or so they can get energy, while they're out in the field or doing whatever they're doing.
Could be. Yeah. I mean, it really makes sense. It does make sense. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. There's so many possibilities. Like I said, it's just theories. Everybody comes up with them. And, sometimes something just resonates with you. Like, well, yeah, maybe that's what it is. We don't know, but maybe it is.
There's so many questions.
Constellations. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. That is one thing. And you know that when the further you get into this, the more questions.
Yeah. More questions.
Gosh.
And more rabbit holes.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. And you have to I'm trying to really have an open mind, because things that I'm not saying that I don't believe, but some things, that you hear, like, I don't know about that, I have to think about that. But then sure enough, certainly, what else could it be? Oh, my buddy Browndorf, we had such a great time. He was on my show.
That was such a great show.
Yeah, that was
always a good time when you have Brown Dwarf on.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I could just talk to him for hours.
I love his knowledge. Yeah.
He is. Wow.
He's come across some good stuff.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, definitely.
Got a peace sign.
Yeah. He's great.
So great. I think we have a video from Pennsylvania left, and we still have a picture, I think, from Pennsylvania. Okay. I think it's from Pennsylvania. I'm not sure.
All right.
I guess let's start with the video. It was the first one I played by mistake, so we'll replay this.
What was that noise? What was that noise? Maybe it was that look. Probably a log. I don't know.
So what was going on there?
Well, it definitely looked like something was sitting there watching me, but it was just too far away for me to see. And I thought, oh, I'll go back and review the video later. Man, I wish that I would have walked toward it, or because it definitely looks like a dog, man, maybe even two.
Oh, okay. I saw the one. I didn't see two. I saw one
Yeah,
dark thing sitting there.
because and what I thought actually was, this is so weird because it's very similar to what we find with Sasquatch. Let me turn my light on. Is that what I thought were at first were the ears, actually was just like something behind it, and then when you altered the photo, it's like, oh, wait a minute, no, now I can see Kenny Thibodeau. You guys know him, Star Fox. Yeah, he's actually the one that had pointed it out to me and said, oh wow, Barb, like this is, yeah, and sent me a photo, and that might be, is that the photo that I sent you guys? I don't know.
I don't know. Let me see. Let me bring it up, and I think it is.
Yeah. So can you see, like, yeah, dark brown,
yeah.
ears, almost has like, I don't know, like, does it have its arm kind of like sticking out behind
It looks like its arms outreached, and the one's by its side. I can see the two ears or whatever that is, and it looks like the light part is the face.
Yes.
Wow.
And then so to the our left, but it's like right arm, there's another one sitting that's a lighter color, and it's looking, supposedly it's sitting down, and it's like looking at that one. I don't know if you can
I see something there, but I can't. It's hard.
Yeah,
and
Almost looks like something standing above it in the distance.
Yeah, it does. And I don't know, I'm not sure what that is. And like I said, I wish that I would have went in closer, but I mean, I don't know.
Wow.
But then my husband was with me, but he was not with me at the time. We have cameras, just game cameras set up that he, again, because there's nobody there. And there was a game camera that's along a power line, and he had went ahead because I was like, don't wait for me. I want to look around and, and really take pictures and stuff. And so he had gone ahead. So I think I was alone so I'm glad that I didn't go close to it, but I don't know. I didn't have
Levon, I think it's Levon, right?
Yeah.
Levon. She says she has a photo that looks just like that she'd like to send you.
Oh, yes. Please do. I'd love to see that. Yeah. She's in Pennsylvania also. So
okay.
Not right in that area, but she is yeah. So
now Brown Dwarf has a suggestion of probably trying a sideways recording.
Okay.
That way you can get more of the area instead of the height of the trees and stuff. Because if it's on the ground or something, then you'll get more of the ground area by doing a sideways recording.
Okay. Yeah. I'll have to try that. The the selfie method is such a great thing, where you basically, you're looking at your camera and you have it that it can see you, for people that don't know. And, but you're basically, instead of like, you're watching what's going on behind you. Now, I know some people will like put a GoPro. I don't have all that kind of equipment and stuff.
Right.
So I just use my camera, and maybe someday, hopefully someday I'll be able to, but, I'm having success in what I have.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, you're getting great pictures and good videos. So, I mean, whatever you're doing is good.
Thank you.
So, I mean, even if you don't change anything, I mean, just leave it the way, if it works, it works.
And just keep, working on my
connection. Because when you're out there walking and you're just taking videos. I mean, you're going to hold the phone like you normally would hold it. So, I mean, you're not thinking about, okay, I need to capture this, because a lot of times you don't even know if there's anything even there.
Absolutely. Yes. And the things that that you catch that are just fleeting, like a peek, a close, because because I said I've not actively seen one like other people have, like, peeking at them. I've not seen that, but I've got plenty of videos where they'll peek out, or you'll see like an arm move or something, just very, very fleeting. And it's what's going on in the background that you're not even noticing. And you just have to review every single part of your videos to see, because you could be missing something.
Yep. Yeah, Brian says the same thing. Don't try to fix what's not broken.
Thank you, Brian. Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. Latro is selfie camera usually has way less resolution. Yes, but what I'm finding though is that they will like kind of drop their guard, so to speak, and they just they show up. And I always ask permission anyway.
Right.
And it may be like Robin Haynes talks about this. If you want to get a picture of us, if you're trying to get a picture, don't look right. Don't direct your camera right at them, because sometimes their energy is like too much almost. You're going to get a better picture of them more in the peripheral if it's going to be possible. And I think that's kind of the same thing with the selfie. And you also have to review those really well, because you might just get nothing, and there was one that I posted, and the woman was, one of the women that had watched it. She's like, all I can see is like your bun keeps in your hair keeps making everything blurry. And I'm like, I'm sorry about that, but look briefly behind. Because that was a pretty good one, but you kind of have to look for it. They're certainly not gonna be like Patterson Gimlin, where they're just gonna walk out and be like, hey, here I am.
Right.
I mean, you can just try it, take some in selfie mode, take some in the rear mode or whatever, and just experiment with it. I mean, you're not going to lose anything. Either there's something there or there's not. So
right.
Just experiment. Otherwise, just keep doing what you're doing. And like us, I mean, we try different things all the time. We try different settings. We try different speeds or whatever. But ultimately, it's like whatever you catch, you catch.
Yeah.
So
yep. And John said, well, or just tell them no pick and just what. See, I don't like to trick them, because I don't think that they can be tricked. So whether they drop their guard down is one thing, but I've learned don't try to that. I feel like I don't want to take steps back, in the connection that I have with them. There have been a couple times where I tried to trick them and it's not worked out. I mean, they didn't do anything they didn't act aggressive or anything, threaten, whatever, but it will go quiet for a while. So I really, like Gary said, I really, really want to respect them. And I always ask permission and honestly, like the best times that I do see them is when I don't have a camera, and I'll say, hey, just popping in and saying hello. And
and like Brian said, they probably know when you're recording.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think you can catch them by surprise once in a while, or they don't realize, they might think you're recording something else, but they're in frame once in a while.
Yes.
But I think they do know whether it's the IR or the frequency that the camera sends out. I think it's like a directional thing. I think they know when it's right on them.
Yes.
And they're either going to let you record them, or you're not going to get a good recording at all.
Yep.
Like Gary said, respect them and they will respect you. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. The video cameras that I have, and I get pretty decent stuff, but but it is IR, so it's like you're seeing it. You're not going to, you're not seeing it as clear as can be.
Right.
And then the other thing is, right. And then if I get, because I'm watching this live, if I do see something, I'm like, whoa, this is so clear. Like all of a sudden it just pixelates, like the whole photo pixelates, the area that they're in. And I'm like, yep, they know that, because I know that they know when I'm watching them, they'll throw like pebbles or pine cones or something at the camera. It's so cute. like immediately, but
I think it's a love relationship or a bond that you get with them. I think they trust you that
Mhm.
okay, they probably will give you better and better pictures and videos because they know you're not a threat or don't want to harm them. You just want to
Right.
get to know them and build a trust with them.
Yep.
So it's not like we're filming them to bring people to them or do harm to them, or
Oh,
we're just trying to
absolutely.
figure them out and understand and
Right.
make a
Yep.
connection.
Mhm.
And I saw people are saying like some people they don't want to take photos, and I think that depends on the clan that you're dealing with, because I think that mine like to be, as long as I'm asking permission, they like to show up. And I kind of got some like mind speak a, a few, I guess it's maybe 6 weeks ago now, maybe that, and even prior to that, I was getting like messages from them and through people that can communicate, because we know people that can
Mhm.
communicate with them, and these are completely independent from each other. These people don't even know each other, and I'm getting messages like your Sasquatch clan is telling me that they want you to, as long as I'm
Right.
going to protect them and not say, well, here they are, come on in everybody. I will absolutely never do that. And if people don't believe me, oh well, I don't care. I really don't care. I will never, I would never ever want to compromise their
Right. And I
their
think they
safety.
know that.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
think they're developing a trust with you and you're trying to get their trust. I mean, it's a two-way street, and I think you guys will eventually connect and then you will get better pictures and they will let you know whether it's through you just all of
yeah.
a sudden have this thing in your head or a voice or whatever it is and say,
Mhm.
okay, you can share this or you can't share this.
Right.
I think
Right.
eventually it'll be to that point.
Yeah, I hope so. I think we're getting there, and it's really exciting. It's exciting. But another thing we wanted to talk about that we didn't even get to touch on was the Ursa Major.
Oh
Yep.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was thinking that because when I first experienced it 3 years ago, I heard you can record, but don't share it yet.
Oh, wow.
And so I did do some recordings and then I shared it. And then a couple months later is when I first started uploading at the very, very beginning. Now everybody knows and
Yeah.
I'm so glad you experienced it too. That's just amazing. Just
Yeah,
amazing.
it was.
Yeah, I felt the same thing. Like, don't share
Oh
that.
my,
And I went,
yeah.
okay.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Gary,
So
your
we
Alpha's
can
tried to speak to you. Okay. Thank you,
Elaine's
Gary.
excited now. She knows all about the Ursa Major.
So that night, what was the night that you were saying to watch out for it? And then we figured out that it was going to be right above our back deck.
Yeah, I was telling everybody around August 8th, start watching it and
Yes.
start watching it.
Yeah.
I told everybody about the time, and then you're 2 hours behind. So we were kind of figuring out the time. I
Mhm.
said, no, it happens around midnight my time. So
Yeah. And we
yeah,
saw it. It was about it. Well, it would be midnight your time, and it was about 10 o'clock
yeah.
our time, maybe 10:15. And my son-in-law and I went out, and we were watching. And then all of a sudden he could see, he could, his eyes obviously better than mine. And he's like, wait, I see lights coming out, or I see a light. But he said, I think that's a satellite. He said, I'm pretty sure that's a satellite. And he's like, oh, wait, well, there's another one. And then the second one I saw. And so I yelled into my daughter, because she has an app, that on her phone that tells her like any satellite, anything that's
Yeah.
coming by, And I said, "Are there any satellites?" She's like, "No, there's nothing. Not in that area where we were looking."
right.
She's like, down
Right.
in like the southern part, but no, not in that. And then I was hoping that I could see more when you said it gets like progressively more active.
Yeah.
And I was hoping to see that, but at that point it had moved out of because we're surrounded by trees, and if it's not
Oh,
kind of,
you're
you know,
clearing was disappearing. Yeah.
Right.
yes, if it's back like toward the north, yeah, we have just a small little window that we can see of the sky. Now anything east, it's wide open.
Now, We were up at my niece's the other day, taking the kids and family out to see the goats and the dogs and all the animals they have, which is just barely outside of our city limits up on a hill. And Jane was saying, man, look at the view up here. So it made me wonder if I can get one of our cameras and get Jenny's permission, my niece, to put a sky watch up there that can hook into our network and we can show the view from on top of their hill.
Oh, that would be great.
To get another view of something, a different position than what we normally have. But I'll play this video and then we can talk about what you saw compared to what we saw.
Okay. Yep.
And is this our video?
Yes.
Okay, now, granted, this is a night vision psionics camera, not off of our phones, and it's not off of our security cameras in the backyard either. This is off of our psionics.
Awesome.
And it's also 10 speed, so they're going fast.
Yeah. Look at that.
So a lot of these you can't see with the naked eye. Just the real bright ones that you see power up are the ones that you can see with the naked eye.
Yeah.
So this is what you can't see with the naked eye.
Wow. That's so cool. Wow.
And yes, those are planes blinking.
Yeah.
So since we speeded up the video, like you could tell that plane was really going by fast.
Yeah.
Normally it wouldn't be that fast, but this gives you a distinction of how many things are actually moving in the sky.
Just in that area only.
That's the thing, coming out of that area. And that's what's so interesting.
It's got to be a portal.
Yeah. And it also, the night that we were watching, it looked like they were going like to Mars. Like, I know that sounds, like the perfect, like, oh, geez, men from Mars or whatever.
Right.
But it looked, because remember, Mars was like in this, was very prominent in the sky. And it looked like the ones that we saw were like kind of all, like these are all, they're all going like in groups. Now I think we didn't see that many, but like you said, this is
this is off the camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
How long was this clip? And we speeded it up. How long was the original clip?
This is a 29-minute video, and
so in 29
down
minutes,
to like almost 3 minutes, so it's like 10x speed. So this is actually about a half an hour's worth of what's happening.
Okay.
And it was going on for hours every night.
No, an hour.
An hour? Okay.
Yeah. So it happens an hour. So this is about half of the activity.
Gary's saying
that's my question too. Why only an hour each night?
Yeah.
It's not before, it's not after. It's an hour. I mean, at the very beginning, at the beginning of August, it's about an hour and a half. But when you get into September, it's only an hour. And I'm thinking, why only this short period of time, but every single night? But why only 6-7 weeks? That's just, how many times were you guys able to catch it? It was a few times, wasn't it? You're able to finally go out and catch it?
Yeah, we saw it that night, maybe twice, like, 2 increments.
Okay.
Because then later when it was over like the front of our house and there was just a small like area that we could see, I couldn't see, but he could see more, 1 or 2 more. And I think there was one other night, because I think you had sent me a message that they were, look for them tonight because they're active or something like that, that you were seeing a lot of them. And I was, but he was not here. I was here. I think it was just my husband and I, and I could see them. And my husband was like, I can't see it. I don't know.
I was hoping that, I think I can make it a little bigger. I think maybe. I think that's about as big as I can make it.
Yeah.
So let's watch it again.
And they don't come out of the exact same little spot. It's not like a certain star. They are coming out different areas, but it's still underneath the handle. And some of them do go different directions. They go up, down.
Yeah.
And then some of I love those giant power ups.
Now
they're coming out different directions, different places.
We've looked in the apps also, and we're not saying that some of these can't be satellites or
Right.
like the plane that's just going through right now. I mean, we've tracked that, but there's a lot of this stuff doesn't show up on any apps or anything. So we're not saying it's definitely what we think it is, but I mean, we're just coming to that conclusion because we don't know, we can't find a reasonable explanation for anything else.
Right.
Well, something else. Are they coming in or going out? We don't know. I mean, if
Yeah.
they're, if they're coming in, they're powering up and then cloaking out, or are they powering up, getting ready to go through the portal? I mean, we don't know if they're coming or going. And they are going different directions. They're not following each other. We know it's not Elon Musk.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely not. Nope. Definitely not.
And that's the only small little part of the sky. I've looked all over elsewhere. It's just underneath the Dipper.
Wow. Yeah, that's so interesting.
And I'm just so blessed that you and a few other people said, yeah, I saw him too.
Yeah.
Thank you. I've been
Yep.
trying to get people's attention for 3 years. Like, there's something going on up there, guys. And they go, oh, wow, cool. And they have no interest in it. And I'm going, oh my gosh. But then they see the videos and they go, oh, there is something going on in the Dipper.
Yeah.
But that's just amazing.
Just the way that they,
and we don't know if they're metal ships either. These could just be plasma orbs. I mean, light ships. We don't know. I'm not saying they're even ships.
I mean,
I don't know.
Barry Littleton brought it to our attention that maybe it's energy, whether it's traveling energy going through, like somebody using a wormhole or teleporting, or so that's why it appears at one spot and leaves another spot. I mean, we just have no idea.
Right.
We just got theories and we're looking at it through our human eyes and we don't know for sure what it is. So we're just trying to describe it somehow that makes sense to everybody. And we can't even make sense to ourselves other than we go, okay, this is weird. This isn't right. This is beyond what we normally see on a
And we talked to experts, Jim Goodall. We're good friends with Jim Goodall. And I mean, he knows quite a bit about the space stuff. And he said 95% of what you see up there is either from this Earth or ours, not from other planets like we're thinking. So is that us being on missions that they're not telling us that we're able to? And he even said a good friend of his back in the 1990s, which is very top-notch person in the UF field, said, Jim, we have the technology to take ET home. That was back in the 1990s. So is that us coming in and out on missions? I'm not saying they're Pleiadians or anything like that. We don't know what they are. I just know this is not bugs coming in and out.
Yeah. And they're not.
OGG Elaine wants to know if you happened to videotape what you saw, but you said the viewing went away because of the landscape, right?
Yeah. And we couldn't, I tried to get them with my phone. You couldn't see them. They were too, too far away or not bright enough. But we were just using, both of us were using our phones and we couldn't get them.
I have a feeling next August it'll happen again for the fourth year. More people are going to know about it. We'll have more people watching for it.
Yep.
Yeah, I hope so. I like to see videos from everybody else to see what they're seeing.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I'm not the only crazy person taking Big Dipper videos.
No.
For 3 years too. I mean, this is a third year, and I finally got people's attention of like, there is something going on out there.
Gary said he thought he saw like a portal or some kind of weird look, like almost like a cloud in the corner. So we'll have to get it on the big screen and check it out closer to see if maybe clip that out and see if it moves or if it does something weird.
Yeah, because I tried to watch to see if there's like this one star, that could have been a mothership or something that they're all coming out. No, they're coming out in all different directions. And it's just the same area, but it doesn't seem like we can pinpoint a small little spot that could be just like a portal.
Yeah. Now the two or what, the ones that we saw, they were coming out of the same, like you said, area, not the same. It wasn't like it was, one came out and then the other, but they went to the same place.
Yeah.
That's what was, they were going to the same. And I'm pretty sure it was Mars that was
That was a
you
bright.
remember that? Do you remember was yeah,
I
it was
think
very, a
it's
very,
Mars that's on out in the east sky. Yeah, I think it is Mars. It's really bright
yeah,
during that
because
time.
we asked, I remember, asking my daughter, what is that? And she said, she said it's Mars. And then I know he and I were saying, well, that looks like where they're going. Like, but
Right.
Right. Yeah. How do we know? I mean,
yeah,
once they're out of our view, they can go somewhere else. We don't know.
yeah.
You know, the other thing is we've talked about the connection of Bigfoot and UFOs and aliens and all that. So I mean, we don't know if these are transport ships, saying they are UFOs or some kind of extraterrestrial or government agencies or whatever. We don't know what. Okay, if it is that, then what are they doing? What are they carrying? What are they
Right.
moving? Are
Right.
they going somewhere? Are they moving cargo? Are they moving what?
Right.
I mean,
Did they find a crack in the firmament?
Yeah. 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 Wow.
Don't know. I just wish we had more answers to some of this.
Same.
so anyway, just like you, we like to bring this stuff up to get the information out there. I mean, it might not be anything. It might be exactly what we think it is,
Yeah.
but we just don't know. But the more people that start watching and more ideas come in, more theories come in, and all of a sudden, maybe we'll get an idea of putting everything together. It's like, okay, maybe that is it. Maybe that's what it is.
And
Right.
it's about 6-7 weeks. It starts around like the Lion's Gate. Well, the Lion's Gate is not 6-7 weeks. So I can't be that, but it's always like the second week of August, and then it goes into like the third week, of September.
Yeah.
All
And is
3
that
years.
related? Like
The same time, all 3 years.
very interesting. Yeah. Yeah. What is it related?
Right.
I don't know. Yeah. But I was excited to see.
Yeah, I am so glad that you and there's a few other people that said they experienced it and saw it. And I said, oh, good. I'm just so glad.
Yeah, that I bet. Yeah, because you were
Yeah.
really
So someday, Barb, I would like to see you get like a Rio Link 16X like what we have, and maybe just one, and put it somewhere where you can see out in your woods or whatever, and see if the video is better than the Arlo, or see.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would love to get. Yeah,
now,
definitely.
do your cameras zoom in and out and stuff, or are they just stationary?
No, they're stationary, but you can zoom in and out from the app.
Yeah,
like
yeah. So whatever's there, you can make it larger or bigger.
Yes.
But actual optical zoom in on something it won't do.
Right. And same way with, even if you're zooming in while I'm recording it, it's not zooming in. You still have to zoom in on the video.
Yeah. So when I record, it's actually, you can see it zoom in and everything. I love these Rio cameras. And boy, do they zoom in. You get the 16X and you can zoom in far. I mean, I can see the edge of our field.
Oh my gosh.
It's just so crazy. And then you can zoom all the way back.
Wow. Yeah. Hopefully. Oh.
Or maybe even psionics. Maybe.
Well, psionics are getting cheaper now. When we got ours, it was like $700-800. Now they're like $300 for the psionics Aurora. They are going down in price. And I do recommend them for sky watching. They are amazing. So yeah, I mean, they're
go to
really
my
gone down in
channel,
price.
everybody, and please subscribe. I need subscribers so I can get monetized on my YouTube.
Everyone go subscribe to Barb's channel.
Please. Getting there,
but right. I mean, just like everybody, I mean, we want people to go to Barb's channel as much as we want people to come to our channel. I mean, there's enough of us out there that we can populate everybody's channels. I mean, we try, sometimes we do coincide, but we try to stay on our own time slots, and we try not to interfere with everybody else.
Brian.
But please go and check out Barb's and check out Brown Dwarfs and anybody else that's in chat or whatever. I mean,
Heidi Pop.
There's enough love for this subject to share with everybody, and everybody has good ideas. I mean, Barb will have guests on and talk to people that we might not get a chance to talk to. So you might hear something new over there, or somebody that's on our channel. So please check out both channels and subscribe if you have it, and hit notifications and help Barb out.
Thank you, mods, for posting the links. You guys are great
Thank
mods. We got the
you.
best
Yeah, they're
mods.
fantastic.
Thanks,
Yeah,
guys.
some of
Yeah,
them
we
are
got
mods
best.
on on my show too. I love it.
Yeah.
That's what I
That's
like
the
about the
thing.
community. I mean,
I
you
think,
see the
oh,
same
I know.
people.
It's,
Yeah.
man, it's such a great, like the best people. Oh my gosh.
And we all
I
support
think
each other.
Brown
And I
Dwarf
just
had
love it.
asked, I've never had anybody out, seasoned researchers out to my location, if that's what you're asking, and I won't do that. I won't, I'm not gonna, because what they're on private land that I have permission to be on.
Right.
And I don't want to lose that. And I also, don't want to lose that permission. And I also just don't want, I don't want their safety compromised because I just
Right.
don't.
That's where we're at too, and a lot of
Mhm.
people that are in our circle as well as yours is
Mhm.
it's not about actually capturing one or finding out what kind of species it is. We just want to make a connection and try to better understand
Yep.
it and let it live peacefully, just like we want to live peacefully in our own family and our neighborhood. They do too. They want a community that they feel safe in, and that's what we're trying to provide. But at the same time, we have that wonder, like, okay, we want to have a connection with them. We want to understand them better. And if we can help them, we'd love to help them. And if they can help us, that would be great too.
Yeah.
See, I'm trying to be careful what I say about the ones that I'm suspecting around here. Because when I do talk, like helicopters show up.
Oh, wow.
And so then it kind of got quiet. And
Mhm.
I did try to mind speak and just concentrate this summer. I said, you guys okay? It's lonely here. I feel alone. Are you okay? And I did hear not safe, not safe. And I got an image of a black helicopter. And I think they took off for a while.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I got to be
Yep.
careful on what I say because I think
Mhm.
we're all being listened to.
Right.
Yeah. That's right.
You know, and I want them safe also. I don't want them to start realizing, oh, they're over in this part of the field or that part of the field or, you know, where they're at. I need to kind of be quiet about it. It's not, oh, where's your evidence? I need to protect them too.
That's how I feel. And if,
Yeah.
and if I don't, if you don't get one single shred of evidence and no one believes me and everybody, that's fine. Like,
I'd rather have it safe and have no
whatever.
evidence.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just forgot about something I wanted to mention that Heidi Pop also is a good friend of ours, and she has a great channel. So if Lulu put her link in there, so as well as Barb's and everybody else in chat. So please go to Heidi's and subscribe if you haven't also. She
Heidi
has
and
great
Barb need to
shows.
hook up.
Yeah.
Heidi has seen Sasquatch.
Oh, cool. Oh, yeah. I definitely need to talk to her.
So yeah, we've had her on the show and she talked about her experiences. And pretty sure I was up in Wisconsin.
Okay.
She was a little girl. Just you two need.
Wow,
you would love.
that's an active area.
You guys got the same personalities. You both are so bubbly.
Yeah.
You would.
We'll swap information for you two, so you guys can get in touch with each other, and you can either go on her show, and she can definitely come on your show.
Yeah, she's got a show too. Yes. Yeah, she goes, hello, my pleasure, cyber me.
Yay, yeah, hi, Heidi. Sounds fantastic. I want to do a series. I'm trying to think of, like, I want to do like women and Bigfoot, like women researchers or experiencers or whatever. I want to try to do a series of that in the new year. And I was thinking, and there's so many, and I'm thinking about if I can do it like from a regional standpoint, because there's so many great women researchers and and not to take it away from the men. I'm not like a feminist or I'm equal. Everybody equal. No, equal.
It tends to have more men on shows and podcasts, but there's such, like you said, great women that are out there investigating. I mean, just like Jessica Jones, and you have stories from Heidi and yourself and Jane and
Cindy Goodbreak.
All these women. So maybe you can take this personal one person from the East Coast, West Coast, Central, whatever. Then the next time you do it, you can swap people out.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
And Brian wants a round table. Yeah, we should have. We should have some more round tables. They are fun.
it's great to be able to bounce, information right off like each other. And
Right.
gosh, you learn so much.
Yeah,
Oh.
well, it
Amazing.
sparks an idea in somebody, and so then all of a sudden, and I do that a lot. It's like, well, what if? And it's because of something that you said. It just sparks the imagination and gets you thinking, and maybe somebody else is broadcasting that information to you. It's like, okay, now you're on it. Now you're hitting close to home.
Yep. Right. A lot of this too is like if I didn't have people to talk to that have experienced this, I would really, I think I'm losing my mind.
That
sometimes.
was me a few years ago before I fully got into the YouTube community. I was experiencing all this stuff and I had a couple Christian friends. I can't tell about Sasquatch and UFOs in the sky, so yeah, I just kind of felt alone. And then I slowly started talking more in Jessica's chat and other people's chats and got to know people. Now look, we're all doing the show. But
Right.
yeah,
Yes.
2 years ago, I even told Girl, I said, I don't have a lot of friends that I can talk to about this stuff.
Yes.
And now I kind of do.
Exactly.
And I
Yep.
feel so good. Yeah.
Oh, me too. It is
I'm not
such
the only crazy person. There's a bunch of us out here.
yeah, because I'm the one that like all I want to do is sometimes talk about Sasquatch
Yeah,
and
right.
all this
Right.
otherworldly stuff, just not like the boring whatever.
Yeah, I was trying not to talk about it when we had company because it kind of looked like, okay, Mom. We know you're into that stuff. We still love you, but
Yeah.
we don't agree with you, but that's okay.
Yeah,
We have
yeah,
Sasquatch
yep.
stuff hanging all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah, my our youngest daughter that lives here, she is afraid. That's it. She's afraid. She's just afraid. She doesn't really want to think about but she definitely believes she's we were someplace and somebody brought it up and she said, oh yeah, she said there's like definitely they exist or they live around us. And I was like, oh, I'm glad she thinks, but our oldest daughter, she's in Pennsylvania, she's really into it. She can actually see things in the photos too, which I'm like, wow, that's good, because that kind of takes some if you're just not gifted with it, you almost have to try to train your eye, and some people just can't, and that's fine, but because I can't see like the Dogman stuff. I don't know what it is. If it's my connection to the Sasquatch, I don't know, but I can't see the Dogman stuff, so I don't know. I don't know if I want to, but
Right. I mean, that's the same way with paranormal, UFO, cryptid, whether it's Dogman, Bigfoot, Mothman. I think we all have our signatures, our frequencies, and we're more attuned to one thing than another. And our beacon of light, if you will, might connect to a paranormal field or a Bigfoot field or whatever. But I mean, eventually, maybe just like everybody else, we start opening ourselves up to UFO, Dogman, Bigfoot. We start expanding that beam a little bit, and we start seeing little glimpses of all these other things.
yeah. Yep.
Because it's weird how people go on a haunted investigation. You'll be there and you'll get the goosebumps and the hair standing up, or you might feel a breeze or a touch, but the person right next to you doesn't experience anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it could be the same with Bigfoot and all that. I mean, there might be a connection, whether it's frequencies or intentions or good vibes, whatever, however you want to explain it. I think everybody has that, and it's depends on where you're at and what clan or what's around you, and they just have that connection with you.
Right. Yep.
Well, I still think it's amazing with Eric Wood saying that 11 people in their family all saw a Sasquatch. Now that's witnesses. When you was a kid. You can have one witness and people still go, still don't believe you. How about 11 people? How about the whole family?
Yeah. Right. That's incredible. Wow. And ours are some of those eye drops. I don't know if that's I don't know.
Well, we talk about Tom Horn.
I think it's called Skywatch TV. Tom Horn. Well, he was on Steve Coyle's show years ago, or it might have been called Coast to Coast. That he was telling this, that his elderly mother went to the eye doctor and they were putting some drops in her eyes. And then that night she called and she said, why are there people here? And he said, what do you mean, Mom? What's the matter? She
Oh
said, there's
my
people in
gosh.
my living room. So we came
Oh,
over and she said that I could see people walking through my living room and they can
Oh.
see me. I guess they realized that she could see them and they were seeing her. And, then eventually kind of wore off. And
then
Yeah.
they went to the eye doctor to find out, okay, what is this? And they wouldn't answer any questions. They took those drops away and gave her the replacement, and then she never saw them again. So they switched the medicine on her. Whatever was in that
like
first
she
eye
could see in
dropper,
a different realm, like 4D or something.
Wow.
And
it
then
made
they
her see
realized,
into another spectrum. She could
Yeah.
see other spectrums.
Wow. That would be good.
I don't know if I'd want to see it or not, but I'm kind of interested. Like, okay, what did she see?
Yeah.
yeah.
Because I've seen spirits and things like that. And it's like I don't, it's very
Right.
it can be very distracting. It can be it's very distracting and very
But if you're
disturbing.
a medium and a channeler, you have the ability sometimes once you hone your skill to turn it off and turn it on. So, I mean, she didn't have no choice with the eye drops. She constantly
Wow.
saw them.
Yeah.
There was no shutting it off.
She was sitting in her living room. She was seeing the people kind of walking through her living room.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
So that's what Brian was talking about. Yeah, we've talked about that on other shows before.
Wow.
Well, I think this is a great spot to end this session, and we'll have to have another session sometime and bring you back on or come back on your show, or maybe we'll do a panel. But maybe we'll all do a panel together.
Yeah, that would be
cool.
Maybe
We'll definitely help you work on the women panel to get some good guests on there.
Yep.
Yeah,
Thank
that'd
you.
be fun.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you guys so much for having me. It's always, it's always great talking to you and such good information. I learned so much, and
we learned a lot off of your show
on the aurora borealis, and that's just so much fun. And thanks for putting me in contact with Brown Dwarf, because I'm like,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Now we'll get you in with Heidi, and
now you and Heidi got to get together.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and it was great talking.
Sometimes I wonder if people get tired of me saying, okay, the aurora borealis is coming in tonight. Okay, the comet's showing up tonight.
No, I don't. Let me know. I love it.
All right. Well, don't go anywhere. Let's just say bye to everybody in chat. Thank you for coming. Make sure you go out to Barb's channel on YouTube. And I think you're on Facebook. And what other channels? Do you have other platforms?
TikTok. I put some of the things on TikTok, but that's, TikTok is like, if you want the brief little, if you want that, check it out.
Go to TikTok and find Barb on there for her shorts and her little advertisements and stuff. And she has great little videos. Some of the videos that she shows on her YouTube, she has little shorts of them. So get her subscribership up on TikTok too, also YouTube. So
yeah,
thank you.
There's enough love to go around.
Absolutely, they're always
we got a lot of love.
Definitely.
So thank you everybody that showed up. I tried to pop up all the questions and comments that was related to the subject. I know you guys all like to chit chat and say hi and share love in the chat with each other. So
I saw that, Gary and Tammy were having a conversation, and just you guys, I'm friends with both of them. Just please message me about what you were talking about. I'm interested. Share about some of this stuff.
So thank you guys all for coming tonight, and stay tuned for our next Piercing the Veil. We're going to be doing Sundays. Every once in a while, we might throw a Tuesday in still, but we're going to concentrate still as our main show on Sundays, and it's going to be 6 p.m. Central now that we're on daylight savings time again.
The barn is already done and taken care of, and then we'll do the show. But 4 o'clock did work out. I think we're going to have to do that next year for daylight savings time.
So when we switch back, if we have to switch back, they keep saying they're going to make it permanent, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
But anyway, much love to everybody in chat. We love you. Thank you for coming. We'll see you again next time.
Keep your vibrations high.
Keep looking up.
Keep your head on a swivel. Lock your doors.